Hey everyone, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Bobby Walmart, private chef, plant dad, and New York City firefighter. Without any further ado, let's get this kitchen tour started. Let's talk about the amount of sunlight I get in my kitchen. Personally, it's my favorite part of my kitchen, and it's the first thing guests notice whenever they come over. Come on, I'll show you. If you look over here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 windows. The amount of sunlight I get in my place is absolutely insane. If you take a step over here, I'll show you another favorite of my kitchen. Here's my second fridge. Not my first, my second fridge. I tell family and friends, this thing is absolutely awesome. The best investment I've ever made.
Come on, you can't tell me this isn't the nicest fridge you've ever seen. I initially bought this fridge because I needed extra space for my private events, private clients. Now it's just a mainstay in my kitchen. Here I usually store meats, cheeses. See, I got a bunch of cheese here. Got some garlic. Whenever I store strawberries in here, they stay crisp for like 2 weeks. It's insane. Moving on to the bottom drawer. Got some avocado, apples, lemons. Got some white wine, keeps it super chill. Got some grapes. And on top of all this, you gotta love the stainless steel aesthetic.
Right along, I'm gonna go ahead and show you my wire rack shelving where I store a bunch of my kitchen necessities. Up top, obviously gotta have my plants. Second shelf here, have plastic Cambro containers. Moving along, I have a white container here with a bunch of my baking needs. Let me just go ahead and take it off and I'll show you.
Now, being completely transparent, coming from a guy who does not bake often, but I still like to have a lot of necessities around. So as you can see, I have a large rolling pin, large reusable piping bag, pie weights, cupcake cups, and food dye. Here I have some of my piping tips, which I got from my trip in Italy. Some sprinkles, rainbow, chocolate, Christmas, I think. Yeah, those might be expired. Someone let me know if sprinkles expire. Have some toothpicks, have a cake tester, which I recently invested in, awesome. Some candles, have another piping bag, more piping bags, parchment paper, a bread lom, got some baking rounds, proofing basket, some pie tarts, some more proofing baskets, some more baking rounds. Got some cake rounds as well. Yeah, I just like to have the necessities, whether I use them or not. I still like to have them around. Here's my pasta making setup. I have the Atlas 150 pasta making machine, and I'm pretty sure I bought a pasta starter kit from Sur La Table a handful of years ago. Just to name a few things it comes with a rolling pin, pasta drying rack, spaghetti cutter, fettuccine cutter, gnocchi paddle, stainless steel spaghetti tongs, and ravioli stamps, but I think I bought those separately from Italy. Over the years, I try to keep some medical supplies around the house, and here's some stuff I like to keep in the kitchen just in case. I got a couple ice packs, which I may or may not have taken from the firehouse, some band-aids, some gauze, some triangle band-aids. I recently purchased a life vac choking device, some medical shears, got some saline solution, some burn gel. These are all things I like to keep handy just in case of an emergency. All right, moving right along. Next, I have my KitchenAid stand mix accessories. Started with my wire whip, dough hook, rubber paddle, flat beater, and the newest addition, a food grinder attachment. Truthfully, I've only used this thing 2 or 3 times, but I'm excited to incorporate it into the next recipe video, so everyone stay tuned. Here's where I keep my kitchen linen. That's my dinner napkins, linen napkins, aprons, chef coats, and kitchen towels. Almost all these were gifts from friends and family, some from my chef friends as well. I believe one of these is from Spain. Yeah, I'm almost certain a guy from the firehouse sent me one from Spain, which is pretty cool. I try to keep them in the best spot I could, in like a dry bin, clean bin, but part of me wants to display them. Tell me what you guys think. I'm interested in your opinion. Should I display them or keep them in this bin? Let me know.
Moving right along to my second shelf. This right here is an IKEA wire rack shelf. It's much smaller, much thinner. Shout out to IKEA. Here I store a lot of my kitchen appliances. I'll go ahead and show you right now.
Man, I love my Dutch ovens. Aren't they a thing of beauty? I store them on top of my 2 electric burners. Next, I have my brand new GE blender, which I recently bought. and my electric juicer. Moving on, I have my KitchenAid stand mixer, and last but not least, I have my heavy-duty Cuisinart food processor. Next is my food prep area, which as you can see gets plenty of sunlight. First, I have my metal prep table with dual shelves. This holds my oils, sauces, seasoning, herbs, sugars, vinegars, grains, breadcrumbs, panko crumbs. You can also find labeling tape, markers, and of course cookbooks that I've got from friends, family, and travel. On the bottom shelf, I have my countertop oven and my Brevo Piccolo. So fun little fact, most people don't know, but the inspiration for my kitchen, the aesthetic for my kitchen, came from the movie Chef. You know the scene where he made Scarlett Johansson pasta in his apartment? That's kind of what inspired me. Moving on to my butcher block counter, where 99% of my Instagram food stuff is shot. Here I store my cooking tools, mixing bowls, sheet pans, knives, and cutting boards, and everything else.
Moving right along to my actual kitchen, I'll go ahead and show you my oven, stove, pantry, dishwasher, cabinets, and everything in between. Come on, check it out.
I don't know about you guys, but this is my first place with a dishwasher, and man is it clutch. I don't really use it that often, but I know after some gigs, it comes in super critical when I need to clean up. Next I have my pantry cabinet. Here I store the rest of my seasonings, flours, grains, sugars, oils, breadcrumbs, panko crumbs, herbs. In addition, I have things like ketchup, hot sauce, mayonnaise, canned goods, canned beans, box foods, dried chilies, oats, chicken and beef stock, coconut flakes, vanilla extract, cornstarch, and baking powder. My next cabinet holds the rest of my kitchen tools and small appliances. Here you'll find hot hands, funnels, a food scale, wet measuring cups, mixing bowls, bamboo steamer, bamboo mat, a sharpening stone, a mandolin, vacuum sealer, vacuum bags, a butane torch, cheesecloth, mason jars, squirt bottles, chinois, a cheese grater, spice grinders, mortar and pestle, and much more. You know, not for nothing, I have no idea how to describe this cabinet. I definitely store my protein stuff in here, protein powder, peanut butter, vanilla extract, honey, and I have some Ziplocs and plastic wrap. I guess I store snacks in here at times, but it's usually just ever changing, honestly. Ladies and gentlemen, behold my magnet collection. Nothing, I mean nothing on this earth brings me more joy than collecting magnets from places I've traveled to. I'm like an old man, but at this point, I fully embrace it. Now give me a second to explain. My fridge is never this bare, I promise you. I was away for 4 or 5 days, so obviously I had to empty it out. I owe you guys a better tour, and that I'll give you. Maybe my next video will be just a fridge tour, maybe a clean my fridge or organize my fridge with me type of situation. I think that's something I can definitely get into. As of right now, it's pretty bare, but I have heavy cream, a banana, some eggs, some jalapeno, a bunch of butter. I didn't want to show it. I got to keep it real with you guys, so I got to show you everything. It's definitely going to get better. I got you, I promise. The freezer's a bit more respectable. Got my frozen bananas, frozen blueberries, got some ice. I got some sofrito, and I'll link that recipe video in this video. And I also have some award-winning chili. I won second place in the fire department chili cook-off the other day, so very proud of that. Got some oxtail, and that's pretty much it. Now moving on to my stove, and I'm not sure what to say really. Zero complaints about it, 5 burner, accurate oven, stainless steel, never had a problem with it, cooks everything I need to cook. Now we're moving back into the cabinets. Here I store my deli containers and lids. I have some ice packs for gigs and events. They come in super handy when packing out coolers. They keep food and ingredients super fresh. Additionally, I have some Tupperware up top with a couple lunch bags, some extra K-cups for when guests come over. Now moving on to my dinnerware cabinet, where I store all my plates, large and small, bowls, large and small, my glass bowls, ramekins, soup plates, spoon rests, condiment cups, and beverage pitchers. I love clean white dinnerware. Honestly, that's my favorite aesthetic. And in my opinion, it's probably the best way you can ever present food, on a white plate. Alright, we made it to the final cabinet. Here I put my mugs, glasses, mason jars, blender bottles, plastic drinkware, sports bottles, and I'm pretty sure I have a couple of vases up top as well. If we take a look in these drawers below here, we'll find where I keep my saran wrap, Ziploc bags, large and small, some straggler K-cups I keep close to the coffee machine. It's kind of a tongue twister there. We move over to the next drawer. We'll find a couple parchment papers, some nitrile gloves, and a couple aluminum foils. I have my immersion blender, some steak knives, some extra chef knives I was gifted by friends, some kitchen shears, and a cleaver knife. Now moving right along to the final drawer in my kitchen, where I keep all the rest of my tools and utensils. A lot of these tools, honestly, I have extras or spares, which I keep out on the counter in my utensil holders, or they're kind of just too small and they get lost. Or I don't really use them that often, so I kind of stash them in the drawers. I try to make sense of how I organize this, honestly, but sometimes when you just empty out the dishwasher, you kind of just throw them any which way. In these drawers, I store my dry measuring cups, measuring spoons, citrus juicer, ring molds, portion scoops, bench scrapers, a wine key. I got a couple cannoli molds, some mesh strainers, some potato rice discs, spatulas, a peeler, a corer, fishbone tweezers, hand mixer attachments, digital food thermometer, another peeler, a cheese cutter, some chopsticks, a candy thermometer, a bunch of forks, and lastly, I got some pasting brushes. Let's check out my pot and pan collection. I'm a big fan of Outlet. I know they can be a bit pricey, but I've had great success shopping at Marshall's and TJ Maxx, and there are definitely great deals out there to be found. Here I have some frying pans, a pan to cook al pastor tacos, a paella pan. Here I have an old rice pot that belonged to my parents. I think every Spanish household owns this pot, I'm almost certain. Next I have a large 30-quart pot. Inside it stores a splash guard, a melting dome, and a bunch of mini all-clad pots and saucers. I have a couple cast iron skillets, different sizes, different uses, and at the very bottom I have a non-stick all-clad pan. Also have a brand new pressure cooker I bought off Amazon, a non-stick double griddle, and moving on, I have an all-clad roasting pan. My collection includes saucepans, multi-pots, stock pots, blanching baskets, and everything in between.
That's a wrap on my New York City apartment kitchen tour. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. And if there's anything missing from my kitchen, or if I inspired you to grab anything for your kitchen, just let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy quick, concise, no fluff, technically sound cooking, check out some of my recipe videos. Thank you so much again. Feel free to subscribe and have a good one.